Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Mocktail Minutes. This is Baylee, and there's no Brianna this week. So we will have a few episodes coming up that might be a little bit different because we might throw in some solo episodes. We have some more guests are coming on because we are preparing for me to have a baby. Life is getting a little crazy, but don't worry, we will still show up for you guys every week. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been here since the beginning. We're hitting like a year of doing this podcast, and it's been a lot of fun. We have definitely enjoyed it and getting to connect with all of you, but things might look a little different in the next few months. But don't worry, we're still going to be here. We're still going to be chatting away in your ear every week. This week, I, of course, still have my little mocktail, my drink. We're doing a root beer prebiotic soda. It's the VitalLife brand. So I actually found this at Aldi. And I mean, it tastes good. It tastes like root beer. I think a little different because it has, so it's a prebiotic soda, meaning it's going to have that fiber. It's going to have 9 grams of fiber. So if you drink drinks like this and afterwards you're like, wow, my stomach really hurts, it could be because you're just not used to that much fiber. And I also would not do this in combination with another high fiber type thing. Might cause some gut issues, but that's what I'm drinking today. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on my pregnancy. And I was reflecting the other day, and I'm very thankful. It's really cool how social media, where there's definitely a lot of negatives that are looked at in the social media world. I do a lot on social media because that's a lot of where my business is creating content, being on Instagram, being on Facebook, doing this podcast. I have a lot of outlets for social media. So I spend a lot of time on there. One of the coolest things I have found is the connections I have made. I mean, even with Brianna and I, we've still never met in person, but she's someone I talk to like every day. And there's a lot of people that I've actually never met in person that I talk to quite a bit. And it's just amazing the connections I've been able to make. Like I said, I'm just super grateful for the amount of people who just randomly check in on me and message me, asking how I'm doing, how the baby's doing. And it's really cool to be able to share that side of my life with you guys. So I was like, you know what? I'll do a quick little solo episode and give a little pregnancy update. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this episode, my wheels were turning. I was like, I feel like a lot of what I've been going through, a lot of my weight loss clients kind of go through the same thing, have these same thoughts, or especially my postpartum moms, things that I've heard from them. Like, okay, I get it now, where I feel like I've always been an empathetic person, but until now, I've never really been in those shoes. I've never had a baby. I've never gone through pregnancy before. So while I've known the information and I was taught about it in school, I've never actually been through it. So I have a little bit different perspective. And obviously, I still have not had the baby yet. So I'm going to be continually learning. And with that being said, honestly, with anything that I've ever taught or told moms, I don't think I would take any of it back, because the main theme of what I teach is let's understand your body. Let's make it work for you. Let's make what I teach you work for your lifestyle. It's not going to look the same for everyone. And I think the biggest lesson I have learned so far in this pregnancy, at the time of this recording, I am 32 weeks. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is to be adaptable, but also it can be pretty scary. Just the unknowns and having to change what you've been doing for years. And my weight loss clients, I would say, could relate to this because maybe you've been dieting for years. You've been told to track your calories for years. You've been having to be really strict about your meals. You've been killing yourself at the gym. You've been doing all these things for years. And then you join Metabolism Makeover. Things start to look a little different. It's completely new. And at first, I've always been like, just try it, give it a chance. And I still stand behind that. But as I am navigating this new stage in my life and how I've had to adapt what I eat, when I eat, how much I eat, it has been a little frustrating. and a little scary almost because, well, I don't want to say scary. It's just the unknown. It's more challenging because I'm not used to doing that. So I think that was an important piece for me to go through to understand, okay, even though I'm not used to eating this many starchy carbs, I am literally feeling the difference that my body feels because I do need more starchy carbs at this time. I'm growing a human. I need more carbs right now, and that is okay. Other things that have changed, I mean, my water intake. I've increased that a little bit, my electrolytes, how much like sodium I'm doing, my meal timing has changed. So I used to be able to eat like I would do breakfast around 7 o'clock, lunch around 1, a snack around 5, dinner around 7:30. That was my schedule. Now I eat about every 2 to 3 hours because I can't eat those larger meals. I literally don't have room for it, or I'm not really hungry. That's kind of the phase I'm in right now, is like nothing sounds good type of thing. So it's been a lot of learning about my body again and figuring out how to adjust and navigating the unknown, which is, yeah, I would say it is scary and it's challenging. And anytime we do anything that's new, our brain is going to throw up these red alerts because it's new, and our brain likes for things to stay the same. When, guess what? Things are not the same no matter what you're doing, but especially when you're trying to grow a human. So there has been eye-opening experiences that I've had since this. One thing is like weight gain. That has actually been something that I was not expecting to affect me, because with being a weight loss dietitian and with everything I've been working on, and I've always been like a smaller body size. I'm a petite person. That's how I've been all my life. And when it came to pregnancy and I started to see my body change, especially at the beginning when it was like there wasn't really like a baby belly, it was more just a bloated belly all the time. So it's like, okay, my pants don't fit. Like I didn't feel comfortable in my own body. While logically I knew I needed to gain weight. I knew I was growing a baby. Of course I'm going to gain weight. It was still scary. And I still have times where I will get a little bit nervous about, okay, like, is my weight gain too much? Is it not enough? And logically, again, yes, they do check in on your weight, because if you're not gaining the appropriate amount or you're gaining too much, it can lead to complications. So a lot of that piece of things has been learning to trust my body and understanding that I'm doing the best I can and I'm taking care of it. And that's the most important part. Everything else is going to work itself out. For example, at the beginning of my pregnancy, and within 4 weeks, I think between those appointments, I was up 8 pounds. And she's like, whoa, it's a little much in there. I was like, okay. Like, I really didn't change too much, but okay. I had a little freak out moment. It's like, what if I gained 8 pounds every month? Like, that's not ideal for me. It's not ideal for my body size. That could be too much weight gain for a pregnancy for me personally. And so I did have a freak out moment. Well, I was like, you know what? It's fine. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. I'm a dietitian. I know what I need to be eating. I'm still getting my workouts in. I changed them a little bit, but I know what I need to do. We're just going to keep going and see what happens. My weight gain has been fine now. We're having no issues getting the appropriate amount of weight. And so I think it's just important there, learning to trust my body again in a different stage of life and in a different way. The other things I feel like I have kind of struggled with is comparison. Another thing that I think my weight loss clients can relate to is, especially during pregnancy, I mean, you're comparing yourself to other pregnant people. I mean, social media, again, there's a lot of soon to be moms who will like post their workouts, what they're eating, all these different things. I'm like, okay, should I be working out harder? But, you know, at the end of the day, you have to do what makes your body feel comfortable. Pregnancy, I feel like the one thing I was not warned about is how much I would worry or how much anxiety I would have, because I am a very type A person. I like to plan. I like certainties. Unknowns are very scary to me. And feeling out of control is very scary to me. And throughout pregnancy, I have felt very out of control with my body because things are happening that I don't know, it feels like an out of body experience. Like, I just feels like things are happening that I just don't have control of. So that's been a hard thing for me to grasp at times. There's also been like a lot of pressures as far as like when I had to take the oral glucose tolerance test. I freaked out about that. I was like, can you imagine being a dietitian who teaches about blood sugar balance and fails this test? However, for anyone taking this or anyone who has failed this, air quotes, it does not mean you're a failure. Another thing I had to wrap my head around. Sometimes our placentas in pregnancy just says weird things, and it's okay if you don't pass this test and you're doing the right things. Guess what? We can adjust and everything can still be fine. So that was another thing. It's just like the pressures, especially with being a dietitian. And even before I announced my pregnancy, I think there was pressures to share like what I was doing because my meals didn't look the same. And I was like, okay, well, what if people are going to judge me because my meals look different, or they start asking questions? And I feel like I have slowed down a little bit on what I share on social media for what I'm eating because, like I said, my meals look different. Like, I'm not eating 4 hours apart. I'm doing smaller, closer together meals because that's what I need at this point in life. And I've had comments before I was pregnant, when if I were to do a smaller meal, I would get lots of messages be like, oh, that's too small for me. So I'm like, okay, well, should I not post this right now? But at the end of the day, if you're listening to this and you've ever looked at my meals that I post or anyone's, I want you to know this is just what they're eating and this is just for their life. That does not mean that's exactly what you have to eat. So that was some of the pressures I have felt. And also just like the weight gain part of things, feeling uncomfortable in my body, just with how clothes were fitting differently. Because, and then that kind of came with guilt too, with feeling like that vanity side of things. We're getting annoyed because my clothes didn't fit, which again, duh, I'm growing a human. Of course, my clothes that I wore before that, yeah, they're not going to fit a growing bump. And I did get a little bit of guilt with it because I'm so excited for this baby. I love the little bump. Why should I care about my clothes fitting? So that's something I've worked through as well. And there are some days where I'm like, I just feel like a weeble wobble type of thing. And then other pressures with like second guessing myself. And I see this happen all the time with my clients where they're just like, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. My advice here is to experiment with your body, really take time to be intentional with things that you are doing, and take time to listen to what your body is telling you. If your body is exhausted and you're not recovering well from like workouts, for example, take some inventory. What does your day-to-day look like? What does your sleep look like? What does your stress look like? What do your meals look like? Is there anything there you need to address? Or if like meals are falling behind and you're kind of like second guessing it, question yourself, why are you second guessing it? Is it because you're not staying full? Is it because from past experiences you've been taught that you can't trust your body? So if you are someone who's second guessing yourself all the time, take some time to take that power back and realize that you can trust your body. Other thing I would say, changing expectations and redefining your life. This has been through pregnancy, but also if you are on a weight loss journey, or if you're working just to get healthier in general, it's okay to change your expectations. It's okay that your life is going to look different. This life is always going to be changing. I hear it all the time where it's like, it's going to slow down. It's going to slow down. We've been saying that for years and nothing slows down. It just changes. And I have found myself before kind of getting stuck and always worrying like what will come and planning it out for, okay, but when this happens, but I don't need to worry about that right now. I don't need to be worried about dinners after baby late from work. Like, I have a few months to worry about that. I'm just focusing on pregnancy nutrition right now. And then I'm going to change and adapt to being a breastfeeding mom and working. Life is always going to come in stages. So we have to learn to stop resisting change, knowing that we're going to ebb and flow, knowing that you don't have to do the same thing for life. It is perfectly normal to adjust your habits, your routine as your life changes. And it's going to come in waves. Overall, I hope this episode was helpful for you. I wanted this to be short and sweet of just things that have came up during pregnancy, because I have gotten a lot of DMs of people checking on me, and I felt like this was an important conversation to have about how things that I've been struggling with during pregnancy can relate to what I hear a lot from my weight loss clients. So I hope this was helpful for you. Other things with pregnancy, baby is growing good. Had an appointment today. Heart rate looks good. My belly is measuring all good. No concerns as of right now in that area. So due July 3rd, like I said, some episodes might be a little bit different. We're going to try and record a little ahead of time so that I can take a break from work, which if you are a type A, high cortisol running person like me and other things I am working on, it is going to be very hard for me, I think, to step away from work. It was a little call out I needed last week from Brianna and Lindsay when we were recording, where they're like, no, you need to take a break. I was like, well, it's the podcast. Like, I enjoy it. I just get to sit and chat. And they're like, no, you're taking a break. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I probably should. So I will be taking a slight break from all things work just to enjoy the new baby, get adjusted. Yeah, everything is going good. Very excited. We're moving into our new house. So the next few months, they're going to be a little bit crazy. So we'll be sure to keep you guys updated. Like I said, we'll still show up every week, have a little something for you. If you have any topics you would like us to discuss in the future, please let us know. If you like these little life updates, let us know if you enjoy them, and we can throw in a few of these as well. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.